Is it on?
Yep.
Cool. Shot you.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. A bit more out of it. Bad strike.
Okay. There we go. It's better.
Yeah.
So what are you finding with these? Obviously, we've fitted them to you now.
Yeah.
Done loft lie. You know.
Done all of that. So I think that's one of the major takeaways from having clubs that actually suit me now.
Yep.
Is that getting more consistency out of them. That's one of the big things.
Yeah.
My distance has gone down a little bit, but not to a point where it's like unmanageable. You know what I mean? It's still fun. Like I'm clubbing up one, but the differences I feel like I'm getting are on that consistency side and like dispersion. I'm not getting the crazy misses.
Yeah, I think the big thing as well is like, you know, you say your distances have gone down, but it's based off, you know, we talk about launch angle, spin, land angle. You know, that land angle is very important for stopping power, which is what you now realize is, yes, you probably hit it shorter, but there's a lot of factors in that where it's like, you know, your lofts were really strong. So you were playing a 5-iron. So they're not really shorter because your 9-iron was a 7-iron loft. So it's not really like you've lost distance. You're just playing the correct loft. With the added benefit of, you know, what I can see now is, I mean, for you to get a ball to sort of carry 165 and stop at 175 with 5-5 spin and what's your land there, 45 on the number. I mean, you were getting 36, 35 with your 7-iron before.
Yeah.
Way too flat. You know, it's not steep enough. It didn't have enough spin. And then you also eliminate that big left and long, which is something shaft and head related. But like it was really helping you get that distance, you know, sometimes too much. Like when we played with the old clubs, it was kind of like 175 or 180 hitting 7-iron and it goes 20 meters long. You know, you don't get those surprises with these clubs anymore. And I think that's a big thing that people don't understand. It's like, yes, distance is important, but it's like you say, I think consistency is massive. And
it's the big one. And like, so one of the other things, Dave, that I've now found is I know what my shape is.
So it's like a consistent.
I know it's a consistent draw, whereas previously with the set that I had, sometimes it would go right, sometimes it would go left. Now I go, okay, cool, my shape's going to come right to left, so aiming a little bit on the right to the green or something like that. If it stays out there, so be it. But for the most part, there, like you say, there isn't that.
It's like reliable, anymore. Which is nice. And I think also like, I look at it from, you know, like now that you understand with bend profile, you know, like that's so important because it's not just like, this is as an example, it's an R300, which is historically a heavy regular shaft, and you'll go into a retail store and get this because it goes miles, and you know that you don't know any better. This thing is a 7-iron at 27 degrees aloft. Yes, it's going to go a long way, but they're going to give you what they have as a retail option. They're not going to measure the shaft's flex correctly when they cut it. It just comes as a package set and you kind of buy it blindly, right? And I think, you know, we obviously, this is like a retro fit. I mean, it's by no means the latest tech and whatever. It's recent, but it's not like the latest and greatest, but it's, the shaft is what we've decided to fit you into. We checked those shafts to make sure that the profile was, you know, the actual flex of that shaft was consistent, and it was. So that's again, like, we got lucky because we kind of bought them second hand, but they were fitted to you. That shaft, that head, you know, and we then did the lie angles for you, and the lofts are correct. They're not super strong. And that's kind of why we see, you know, like, yes, you've lost 10, 15 meters, but you've gained, you know, dispersion not only sideways, you're hitting the same shot every time, which I think is super important.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I say losing distance, but like what you said at the beginning there, it's like losing distance going, I'm not hitting my 7-iron 185, 190 anymore. But then at that point I go, okay, cool, let's hit the 6-iron. It's like there is an extra club there.
It's not like that's the way it ends.
The only time you kind of feel like, oh, you know, maybe I can't hit my 4-iron 30 anymore.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I mean, that's why you got, you know, that gapping going up the bag 100%. That we got the 5 wood.
We got a 5 wood in and a 3 wood in now. So, yeah.
Yeah, so like that's why it's something that you say, you go, okay, cool, now my mates are still hitting their 7 irons and I've got to hit a 5. But, you know, the fact of the matter is I'm probably hitting the green more often.
Well, you're going to hit it closer anyway because you're going to hit it straighter because you have a reliable club. You know, like the thing for me is as well is like a lot of people don't understand that, you know, a very, very fruitful thing, and maybe we can put it up on the video or something like that just so they can see the average distances that the pros hit their golf clubs on TrackMan.
Yeah.
And guys will be surprised. I mean, like, a lot of guys think a pro hits his 7-iron 200 meters. And now that you've spent quite a bit of time with me in here, you know that that's not the truth. I mean, we have a lot of Sunshine Tour players that practice here, but they hit their 7-iron 190. But I mean, they're young, strong guys who do this for a living, and they don't. I like try and get them to hit it shorter, like, because they don't understand all of this stuff. Like, at their level, they still don't get these numbers and what they do for them. Now that we're sort of getting them to understand, I can't get them out the workshop because they understand how valuable that is. I mean, that's their job. You know, we like don't really play as much, especially like we like more social, and but we still want to achieve our golfing goals and we still want to play solid golf. But if they're uneducated and it's made a big difference for them, imagine how much of a difference it can make for you or for any guy who walks in here with
average Joe player.
And again, it's for everybody. It's not just for the best players. Like, we've seen guys, complete beginners, walk in here. That guy that was in here the other day that bought that set from me. I mean, like, that guy couldn't hit a golf ball with his old 7-iron that he got from a mate. I mean, he was hitting it like 140 low left. It was the wrong club completely. He's a big, strong guy. Swung it really quickly, very fast tempo. You know, that was an old graphite shaft playing at ladies and whatever.
So that thing was just
gave him a 7-iron to try, and he was like, I need to do this. Because he was like, he's gone into golf shops and he's been keen, but it's like, he almost gets pushed in a direction. You're a beginner, you know, you need this massive head, you need 28 degrees aloft, you need a regular flex. Like, that guy swings it quicker than you and I put together. He's like at 105 miles an hour with a 7-iron. Like, it's obscene. Like, he needs an 8.0 in his iron shaft. So, you know, like, even a beginner who's seen me for 3 lessons can come in here now or go play golf and have fun because he actually hits the shot that he's trying to hit, as opposed to, you know, the fireworks display that we used to see with you wasn't necessarily only your fault. I mean, we talk about if you ask one of my tour players, will tell you it's all my fault. But the nice thing about it is, once we get those bend points, remember when we take that club away, it kind of loads this way, gets to the top, it sort of flexes that way, drops down, and then the tip section releases. Just that in the right flex narrows the 400 shafts down to kind of 5 or 6 that'll work for you, and then it's just purely based on weight. And our motto is always going to be the lightest shaft that's heavy enough. The reason for that is you're going to swing it quicker, but your timing will be a lot better because you're not going to feel like this thing is so heavy you've got to try and hit it. A lot of people, you know, I coach a lot of golfers, and the main thing I see is this: they get to the top and they're just trying to smash it with their arms, and then they don't really have timing because I don't know where the head is. They don't know where the shaft's loading. But once you get those sort of combinations, you can actually, you know, you can feel where the head is. You can feel what the shaft's doing for you. And that's the big thing that I try and, you know, preach to everyone. Beginner, you know, junior, professional, is this thing is designed, or should be designed. They're now just designed to get flogged and everybody must buy a set. And every year you do the same thing because it's newer, greater. I've always said this: if these Taylor, like, I'm not going to say brand, these brands kind of go, for the past 10 years they've been saying you hit the ball 10 meters further. If that was the case, you and I'd be hitting at 1,000 meters by now.
Yeah, sure.
You know, it's irrelevant in terms of how far you're going to hit the ball. Like, I think if you fit it properly, you're probably going to gain a lot more distance, but in saying that, you're probably going to hit more fairways, which is going to make you play better golf. So the distance thing is great, and we can help you with a bit of distance by optimizing launch and spin and stuff like that. But it's not the be-all and end-all. You need that club to work for you instead of making yourself adapt to the golf club. And that's what you do when you buy a set of off the shelf. That's what you're doing, is you're making it work for you because you spent a lot of money on it.
Because I mean, even that previous set. Look, that was also a second-hand set that I got pretty much when I started playing golf, and just made it work for me. And I mean, we played a couple times where you saw it work very well.
Yeah,
and it was great.
100%,
I mean, when that happens, it's great. But the chances of that happening were quite slim. It's one every, I don't know, 10, 15 rounds or so that you get that right.
Yeah.
But now with these, I found it's a lot more frequent that I'm getting it right.
100%.
Like there's still issues, you know, you're going to do coaching and stuff like that to, you know, kind of iron that out.
To refine stuff.
But taking one small thing out of that equation has made a big difference, I feel. I feel more comfortable and, you know, just know what's going to happen for the most part.
But also when it doesn't, don't you feel like you know why?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like because you know what the club's working for you. When you don't quite swing it good, you know.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go, I thought I had swung that well, but the ball's gone 40 meters right or left or 30 long or short. At least now you kind of go, okay, I've made a bad swing. You know it's still going to go kind of in the direction because the club is sort of more suited to you. But then also you kind of go, I made a bad swing. And you can live with that.
It happens,
It's when you're searching and changing your golf swing to adapt to that thing in your hand every swing. And not only just like, you know, not only just with between irons and woods. I'm talking like we've seen with some of the sets that we've had in here where a guy has got like a 7-iron that's supposed to be half an inch short, but it's 3 inches too long. So it's playing like as long as my 4-iron. Yeah. But then his 5-iron is 2 inches shorter than his 7-iron, and he was fitted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, now you have to have a certain swing for every single club in your golf bag, which is, I mean, it's hard enough to perfect one swing. You and I know that.
Not trying to do it for all of them.
Like for 13 clubs in your bag, it's like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So like, you know, especially with the MRI matching stuff where we go, the required force to swing the club is the same throughout the bag.
Yeah.
Might be slightly different between the drive and the fairway woods, and then there might be a certain MRI for the irons and the wedges.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're slightly different swings, but all your irons, you kind of want it.
But I mean, it's also like, what better, doesn't it just make sense logically to have the same feel? So every club feels like it requires the same amount of force.
Yeah.
And the lie angles match, and the lengths match, and the flexes match, the bend profiles and the shaft match, the weights match, and then all of a sudden you just need one swing for all your clubs in your bag, and they work.
That's good. Yeah.
I mean, that like it sounds like a fairy tale dream, but
but
I mean, we've seen when like I've tested swing weight matching versus MRI matching, and I've done it with a couple of the Sunshine Tour boys as well, and it's amazing how they go. That's all they knew was swing weight matching, and it's not wrong.
Yeah.
But it's just like I feel like that MRI matching is so much more accurate because it's measuring the actual force required. And
it's not just measuring a weight.
now we kind of, I mean, we're diving into a lot of stuff, but it's like we've got the right shaft, we've got the right weight, the shaft bends at the right time, or because it's obviously matching your tempo transition, your release point, your loft and your lies are right, so the club is obviously being delivered with the right loft. It's the ground interaction is out the center of the club instead of out the heel or the toe. We're halfway there. And even if you don't have a good golf swing, you can still hit the ball good.
You're going to be all right.
Because a lot of amateurs say, I'm inconsistent. I mean, I have guys in here who have been teaching for 6 months, and they do the same mistake every time. So they're not inconsistent. Like,
no, you're consistent.
It's a bad swing, but it's consistent.
Yeah.
And, you know...
But then you can work around that with a proper set of...
100%.
A set of clubs that's going to work for
100%. That. And it's also like, if they get better, this is the question I get asked a lot. What if I get better?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, because I'm not looking at your level when you're swinging a golf club. No, I'm looking at actual evidence, facts, DNA. It's called DNA for a reason. Yeah. Tempo, transition, release is not going to change without hitting 1,000 balls a day every day for 5 years.
Yeah, well, like you said, I mean, you know, guys going into the gym and whatnot and maybe really working on it. You know that probably maybe a year's time you're going to have to maybe relook at a little bit of that shaft profile, I mean, but your head's probably going to be fine.
It's not going to change much. Yeah.
A little bit more speed maybe, but like you say, I mean, how often have you actually seen that change happen?
I mean, I've been working with a lot of good players as well for a long time who obviously have this plan of getting fitter, stronger, better. And even in the swing, we're working on some really big stuff, but it doesn't change their DNA. It doesn't change that they're quite smooth in their tempo. Doesn't change that they're quite smooth or aggressive or you know, a little bit delayed in the transition. release point is probably the hardest one to change, because that's kind of how your brain
works,
reacts to where that club needs to now get past this sort of 90 degrees. So where that thing gets let go is kind of always going to be there. It might change by like 0.5, because we obviously rate them 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and then that's 1 being early, so really quick from the top, and 3 being really late. But I mean, you'll never go from a 1 to a 3.
Yeah,
you'll go from a 1 to a 1.5.
Yeah.
And you're still going to fit into the same bracket, so it's not going to really change, to be honest. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's like one of those things to keep in mind, that people are like so hesitant that, oh no, I must get to a certain point before I can get fit.
Absolutely.
And it's a backwards way of thinking, because to get to that point, you're probably going to need clubs that are better for you.
Yeah.
And going off the rack and doing guesswork at the end of the day, because that's basically what it is, going into retail.
You're going to spend more money, I can promise you. Yeah.
Even on the second-hand market, I mean, again, you know, we can harp on about that for hours on stamped things on clubs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the sticker that they put on your shaft probably means
nothing.
Nothing, really.
Means nothing. I mean, it
because there's so many inconsistencies in these things from the factories.
There's a lot of room for error, right? They're making millions of things. There's always going to be a little bit of variance, and the tolerances are quite high.
Yeah.
And you know, and I feel like people are starting to catch on in terms of getting educated and stuff, but it's like, I don't know, for me it's just like, why would you go through that process to save $2,000 but then end up having to replace 10 shafts, which is going to cost you 20?
Exactly.
So it's short-term saving, but for long-term pain kind of thing. So you buy brand new clubs, the guys set the altitude to 9,000 meters above, and all of a sudden you're hitting a 7-iron 200 where you hit it 120, you go,
this is really going to impress my mates on Saturday.
And you get onto the golf course and you're like, hang on a second, these things are going, if not shorter, they're going the same, but they're coming out super low and left and right the whole day, and then you go back to them and they go, no, look, it's the right thing.
Yeah, you must have just been having a bad day.
Yeah.
It's not the case.
Like, come on, you're not going to... I haven't seen... I mean, I know we all have bad days, but it's very... even in a fitting here, if the guy's swinging it badly, you know, we'll still find the right club, and then I'll say, please come back.
Come back, and let's just make sure.
It's a lot of money. It's a big investment. It's a 10-year investment, which is also important to understand, that it's not just flash in the pan, next year, this time you're going to do it again. You're not going to need new clubs for 10 years. So instead of trying to buy every model for the next 10 years, understand that they're not going to evolve so dramatically unless golf clubs start swinging themselves.
Yeah. But look, I mean, like I said, these are probably a perfect example.
Those are from 2016, but I can't get the numbers better with the latest model like that. The shafts are correct, the heads are the right loft, right lie.
You know, it's the same with the drivers. I mean,
you've got my old driver, the Cobra,
a couple of years
and
it's and I mean,
it works for you.
Performs fantastic.
We've had a few shaft issues, but that wasn't. That wasn't the fittings fault. But
like, I mean, we could probably do a test on that and go to the old model and then pop in the brand new model.
100%,
We're not going to see a lot more difference. I mean, with the couple fitting tests that we've done, we put in the newer CBs as well.
Yeah, those are the 2025s and versus the 2016s.
Very similar.
Very similar.
You know, there's a couple little things that you can see here and there. They look nice, and obviously it's nice to get a brand new set of clubs. But I mean,
we did what we could with what you were prepared to spend at the time and what you were happy to sort of invest in.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is as well, did the fitting so that I knew what I needed at the end of the day.
And I did mention...
Look, I mean, these still aren't perfect.
I know, but I was also like, remember, you're going to... It says 130X on there, but it probably won't be.
Because I think we did test these and they were down a bit from
They're close. They're like 6.7 and you need a 7.3 in the flex. But it's like it's a half a flex versus where yours were ladies flex before, which is...
So I was like 6 flexes away from where I should have been.
So you're going to go, okay, I kind of understand why I used to struggle and why it's much better. And like for me, again, it's like, it's so close. You know, it's probably 80% of the way there. Okay, if we have our eye match and you've got the right lofts, the head type is correct, so the style of head is kind of a mid-launch, mid-spin head, exactly what you need, obviously based on what we see from the numbers. You know, you were obviously launching it super high with very little spin purely because of the shaft and those big Nikes of yours. But you didn't need the height. You already hit the ball quite high, so we kind of went that head design, and you said to me, oh, those are tiny, they look a bit intimidating.
Yeah,
but I gave you the biggest thing I've got, something like similar to what you had, and you hit these worse.
Yeah.
So it's like, remember, the golf club doesn't know what its style is.
No.
And that's also, head type isn't relative to skill.
Yeah.
It's relative to launch condition. So the bigger, more, they would call them player improvement irons, they're not for beginners. The only reason why beginners are going to go into those more than sort of better players is they're going to help you launch the ball higher and spin it higher.
Yeah.
That's it.
But if you don't have that issue, what's the point?
No.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's like Lee Westwood's a good example. I mean, he plays massive, those I-200 irons or I-210 irons, they're quite big. You know, and for a long time he used those I-7s, those pings, which are super wide. I mean, he's probably one of the best ball strikers in the world, and there was a reason for, he struggled a bit with strike, so that makes sense, but not struggle like we struggle. I'm saying like he missed it like a couple of millimeters off,
and
it helped him on those
levels,
but also like it just helped him get the launch, because he couldn't launch the smaller ones. And you know, that's a very good case of how many people are playing blades. Everybody says this to me, and I'm like, yeah, but that's probably not what they need because of how they hit the golf ball. It's got nothing, like a pro doesn't struggle to hit the middle of the golf club, so it doesn't really make a difference. So it's not because they're easier to hit.
Yeah.
It's because they produce the right numbers.
Yeah.
And that's like this misconception of fake marketing to get you to buy because of your level of golf club.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a 10 handicap. I need T100s as an example, or P790s, because I can't use a P770 because I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got guys of 15 that I've got fitted into blades, and they hit them out the center every time.
Well, I mean, at the time when we initially started looking at getting fits, I mean, I was probably around a 15 or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And nothing else I was hitting as well as those smaller heads. They were a little intimidating, like you say, for the first couple shots, and then you go, it's actually not bad. It's going where I want it to go. It feels
and the
fantastic.
feedback off them are quite nice
exactly.
as well.
And then like, no, the second you get a little bit more comfortable with it, there's a reason why I was fit into those, because they work for what I needed. So it's interesting, and like you said, like, stop spending so much money on all the new things when you could be having a much better time out on the golf course if you had something that actually works for you.
I mean, I'm a good example because I have access to pretty much everything, right? So I've got access to a lot of brands and stuff. And I could go that route, you know, like I could every time the new driver, I'm going to try it. I mean, I've got the heads, but I'm not going to change.
Yeah.
Like, I've got the previous model Titleist, and you've seen me hit that thing.
Yeah.
Like, I've compared it to, you know, Titleist. Oh, it's not necessarily the longest driver.
Yeah.
I hit that thing way further because it's set up perfectly for me than anything else. And I've put the latest heads head to head with the same shaft, same profile, same flex. I can't get the numbers, you know, and that's just a very good example of, it doesn't have to be the latest and greatest. And it doesn't have to be the low spin head because you're a good player, or it doesn't have to be 8 degrees because you launch it too high. There's a lot of factors
misconceptions,
there. You know, there's a reason why we baseline your clubs with 7 different measurements before we get down here hitting golf balls, because I need to understand what that thing actually is.
Yeah.
Because you sure as hell can't trust what it says on the club. And it's not, you know, it's not having a dig at any brand, or it's just, if they're off, at least know that they're off.
Yeah.
Because I can adjust face angle, or I can tell you why your shaft feels soft when it says it's an X. I can prove it. I've got a measuring, we've got the frequency measuring machine there with a laser. It's impossible for that to be inaccurate.
Yeah.
But at least then you can baseline and go, okay, this is what I have. And I can say, look, maybe the head's good, let's change the shaft, or vice versa. Maybe that head's too low spinning, or it's got too much loft, or the face angle's so open that we can't get it closed enough. Like simple stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you just take that first step and you come in here, I mean, you didn't really know anything about this stuff the first time you walked in here.
No.
But the eye-opening stuff is like, it says this, and then you go, well, can't we just turn the loft on the driver down? And I go, no, you can't. And you go, but why do that? Marketing.
Yeah.
changing face angle is what it does. Okay, so when you do this and you shut the face, you present a little bit more loft, but it doesn't change the loft of the driver. It changes how it sits with a closed face. And it's the same as like some of our draw bias drivers, which sit at 6 degrees open. I'm like, the whole thing is, it's supposed to make you not slice it. Okay, but the face is sitting at 6 degrees open.
Wide open.
So how are you going to draw that?
Yeah.
You know, like it doesn't quite make sense. So.
And again, anyway, so like draw bias driver, you go into the shop and you say, geez, I got this major slice. And the guy goes, I got just the thing for you. It's one of our draw bias drivers. Here you go. This is the Max D or whatever it is. There you go.
Didn't you get fitted to the Cobra, that F-Max?
Oh, the F-Max, yes.
With a shaft that's like 30 grams, but you swing it at 120.
Yeah. And the guy was like, this is perfect. Don't even look at anything else. I went in there to go change a shaft, right?
Yeah.
It was one of the golfers clubs or something. I went in there to go change a shaft that I'd got given from someone.
Yeah.
Swings relatively like same kind of speed as me. And he was like, look, I got this. Do you want to try it? I went in there and said, guys, please can you help me to put this shaft onto my driver head, which was the M1 at the time.
Yeah.
Guy went, absolutely not. We can't do that. There's no way we can do the shaft switch out. But I've got a Cobra F-Max for you. Just try this thing. And, go, okay, cool, and swing this thing as hard as I can. And I don't know, it looked like it wasn't doing what I expected it to do. But, I mean, the guy just tried to sell me something instead of letting me just change my shaft and test it out.
No, that's his job, right? That's his job. His job is to push product. And it's based on it's a volume model, as many as you can.
Commission.
Yeah.
So it's understandable.
He doesn't have... And it's probably harsh to say this, but it is true. I've been in this industry for quite a while, and you are sort of enticed by whoever you've promised how much you're going to sell, and that's going to be your focus. Your drive is going to be in that brand direction.
Yeah.
Where I get that. That's their model, and it's worked for years, and it will continue to work for many years because people are not educated and they trust this, right? They trust that process.
You trust the guy in the shop.
100%.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I have nothing to gain here by selling you a certain product. Zero. I have 9 brands. I don't want, like, as a person myself, I can't, you know me very well, and even in my coaching, like I'm one of those people who, if I can't find it, I'll say come back and I'll do research. Yeah. Even if it's in a lesson. Like I can't let somebody leave hitting the ball badly after a golf lesson. And I'm the same with the fitting. And if I can't better what you've got in your hands there, I'm not then going to say, oh, let's go this route. Then I'm all of a sudden going to go, okay, altitude 3,000 instead of 1.5. Put you into this guy, which is 28 degrees aloft, and then
say, check how much further you're doing it now.
Yeah, you know, like exactly. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go, you know, there's facts. We use facts, and we make sure that what we're doing is for you. So there is a reason why it's called custom fitting.
Yeah.
It's designed for that player.
Yeah.
The other benefit is whatever I decide you go into here, I measure on the same machine I measure yours. And when my guys build it, they build it exactly like that. It's not, oh, it's got the same sticker, we'll put that shaft in. No,
it doesn't
it's
work
cut
like
and measured on the frequency machine, on the MR machine. Every time something gets taken off or added on, it gets measured to be exactly. I mean, our tolerance, I think, on an MRI is 10 points, which is 1 gram or something silly. Like, you're not going to feel it, but that's the tolerance that we're prepared to. 0.25 on a loft and a lie, like, you're not going to notice it.
Yeah.
It's very, very small. But nobody else is going to say to you, I'm sorry that your club is 0.25 stronger, because they don't even know what the loft is. Is my point.
Yeah, we saw these with these even when I got them. All over the place, but yeah.
Show us something then.
Okay.
Show us something.
Well, shot on the screen is great. Let's see if we can better that.
You're under pressure now. That's alright.
That went out a little bit right.
That's okay.
But you see, like, even that same shot with a different club.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I just wanted to check if you can see it on the screen. But yeah, it's like, that there is what we're saying. It's 10 meters right of target, but it's only like 10 meters short on the miss, which is fine.
Yeah.
And I think like I know you want to hit good shots every time and you want to show people that it's worked. But
yeah,
I mean,
but the fact of the matter is, I mean, that's I'm
10
happy
right,
with that.
165 on a miss it.
Yeah,
And the numbers are the same.
Numbers are
5-7
good.
spin, 43 land angle.
that would be a thin one.
That's okay.
But again, I mean, like thin, going the same numbers that we want to see.
150
straight
carry,
as well.
175. Try that.
Okay, so this is
It's
definitely not for me. Big
well,
head.
it's a stiff shaft. You swing it hard. So if I had to go based on, you swing the club quite fast. What's your handicap?
At the moment. Like
Yeah.
10.
10. Okay,
11.
that's perfect. It's like it's not the biggest one, but it's
Yeah.
like right in between. It was actually pretty good. Okay, 189 meters, so very far.
Yeah.
Well done. But 32 meters right,
Yeah.
and it wasn't a bad strike. It sounded
No.
pretty decent.
I mean, yeah, face angle a little bit open, but
Yeah. Let's hit another one. Oopsie daisy.
geez, like,
Yeah. 3-2 spin. Not gonna work really this time.
no.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, I mean it's
Yeah.
just a lottery. Like
It,
we
it
look
really
at-
is, yeah.
so it's like 117 carry on the bad one, 150, and then 178 carry, 190 total, but 30 meters right. I mean, it's just like it's all over the place. Like it doesn't make sense. Where we kind of look at your ones here. I mean, these are your bad shots. So 150 carry, 165 total.
Yeah, because these were the
Yeah.
pitching wedges I was hitting
Yeah.
before. But
But I mean, that's
yeah,
the
look,
thing.
I mean, the numbers are all within.
And it's like your bad shot is 42 land, obviously, because it's
Yeah.
been thin, but it carries 150, rolls out to 170.
Yeah.
It's not like there's not like this gap between 120, like with this one that you were just hitting. You know,
Yeah.
you hit it badly, it goes absolutely nowhere. But the reason you hit it badly is not the swing.
Yeah.
It's just that